Hey guys, how's it going? Today I wanted to speak about the subject of, is peace the only way to stop war? It's something I kind of read online, but obviously if you read the sentence, is peace the only way to stop war? Well, if there's peace, there's no war. But let's think of it in a different way. If everyone was to be very happy and peaceful, and they didn't want anything, they were just satisfied with the way that they are, would that mean peace? Or would war be the answer? And also, when is war the answer? Well, for me, war, for example, it doesn't have to be all-out wars, such as World War I, World War II, or whatever's been happening in many different places of the world where people die. And there's just been a ton of wars all over the earth since the dawn of mankind in some way. And now we're getting more and more technological with them. And sometimes things are not always fought just by humans, but it also can be bombs and other things. But basically, I think that war can start even in the house. It can be a quarrel that you have with a family member, or a quarrel that you have with people around you, and fights can turn into full-on wars that could last years. And we've seen it in books such as Romeo and Juliet, and basically pretty much any movie that has an antagonist in it. But what I think is that in any way, we are people who will quarrel in some way or another. We have different emotions. So with happiness comes sadness, comes fear, comes many other things. And we do want to live in a peaceful society. And I think for the most part, in a lot of the Western world, where people have an abundance of stuff, we have some sort of peace. We do have a lot of criminals and stuff like that can also happen, but the numbers are fewer than where the peace is. And I think in order to really achieve peace within our world, we would have to basically be able to be in a world where everybody has an abundance of everything. Everybody is satisfied with what they have, and there's nothing else that they can want, really. And there wouldn't be any stealing, and there wouldn't be any people wanting more stuff. But that can work, but I think it would have to be on a more minuscule scale, because the problem is that there's just too many people on this earth. The numbers are huge, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And with that, there's going to be less resources. And even though more jobs can be created because we need to support more people, have more clothes, have more computers, have more food, have more stuff, etc., we have a lot of selfishness as human beings. It's kind of like we have places that we say, this is my territory, this is my house, this is my place, you don't trespass this, it's mine. Or you have your car, you have your beautiful shoes, you have your beautiful iPod or iPhone or MacBook or whatever you want to have that you say is expensive, and they're supposedly precious to you. And the thing is that we're not really in a helpful society in some way. There are people that help, and there are definitely moments where people are helpful, but only to a certain extent if you really think about it. Because the thing is that, once again, some people have an abundance of stuff, some people have a lack of stuff, and because of that, they struggle. And then even if they're still getting by, they're still surviving, they're still living and stuff like that, they get to a point where they see maybe what another person has or what another country is able to provide and stuff like that, and you kind of get into that survival mode, that instinct mode where you need to survive. And in order to survive, if you have to steal, if you have to do strange things in order to get what you can get, you will do it because you want to overcome. It's kind of like someone who basically is in water and you are not able to swim. Well, you're going to do everything in your power in order not to die. And that's the thing that's going to happen. And because this world is it's in a state of peace in some way, where not a lot of things happen, but then at the same time, like a tornado can hit, or an earthquake can hit, or whatever natural disaster can happen, be it also things that happen within your body, such as illness and injuries and deaths. There's like those acts of God which will always destabilize whatever harmony we have. And that's why I say, like, if you have smaller numbers, smaller things, usually it's much easier to take care of the people within that small number of people. But as the numbers get larger, unless everybody is super unselfish and nobody wants to have the bigger house and all that stuff, and we're really living as a community, then only will we have peace. But obviously, if there was really peace, there would be no war, because it's peace. But I think there's external factors, as I mentioned, like earthquakes and natural disasters and health, and it could even be, again, another natural disaster, because we don't really think about it so much, is farming. If for some reason there's a disease within the crops, then how do we get food? And yes, it's possible to get stuff from other places of the world, but what if it's all over? And that's kind of sometimes what happens sometimes when there's mass extinctions, such as the dinosaurs and stuff like that, and it was a natural disaster. A meteorite hit the earth, or at least that's what they speculate, and then there's a big cloud of smoke that lasts years and then nothing grows. And there's going to be a point where no matter how peaceful we are, there's going to be wars happening. It's just part of our nature, and it's part of our survival instinct. We need to not have a survival instinct and the super generosity and caring more of us as a symbiotic community, and not really a being that you're oneself, like you're being yourself. So I am you, you are me. But in order for no war to happen, then it would have to be a unison, a community where everyone is truly and really equal, and that even the sick would be part of our body and we have to take care of them. But wars happen within our body all the time. It just does. When you're getting sick, if you get injured, if you get depressed, if you have a thought where you want to do this, you don't want to do this, you want to do this, you don't want to do this. So how can there be no war on this earth if wars and fights happen within yourself? I mean, that's what I feel, and that's part of the nature of being alive. So we do have to try to get as much peace as we can, but inevitably I think it's just not going to happen. There's always going to be someone who's going to want more, and something that happens outside of that exterior, that's outside of an act of God, like they say, and we never know what's going to happen, and that's just the nature of life. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say on the subject. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.